So Willie Snead goes to the Las Vegas Raiders on a one-year prove-it deal. And listen, after seeing what Nelson Aguilar got, I totally understand going there on a one-year prove-it deal. Absolutely. No questions about that. The reality is it's just an offense that can benefit wide receivers, and I think he's a wide receiver that can benefit this offense. We'll start off with this play. What I want to talk about with this play is just going to be his first step. That's where this play is going to be won. It's going to be man coverage. So he's going up one-on-one. That's the route that you see on the screen. That's what he's running. And again, it's just going to be his first step, where Snead is a physical receiver. He is a big guy who can, push people around. I know he's just 5'11 and 195 pounds, but trust me, he plays bigger than that. He plays like a very big receiver. But watch, you see that this Cleveland defender, he's going to kind of try and get contact right away, and this time Snead's just going to kind of sidestep him a little bit, and that's what Snead can do. He's someone who's very smart about how he'll use his physicality, try and get open a little bit, use his hands at the line, get open that way, and then all of a sudden he'll just, sort of swipe away and just try to go. So he's very good with his hands at the line, which is really my main point. And as you see, he then is able to get way past. He gets wide open, and even with safety help, it's not enough. Lamar hits him, and Snead gets a touchdown right there. I do wonder if Willie Snead's numbers would be a little bit better if he was in more of a passing offense. He nearly had 1,000 yards his rookie season. He looked to be a pretty consistent 900-yard guy with New Orleans. Then he goes to Baltimore, and the most he's gotten with them is 651, but I do think his tape is better than his numbers. And also, let's just be honest, playing for the Saints in 2015, that's just a really good offense to play for. But watch this play. This play is a great example of showing his route running, which I think will really come into play for the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to absolutely love his ability to run some routes. You see that there's a receiver running a route over the middle, and oftentimes, Willie Snead, he's just running a curl route, but oftentimes what you'll do is you'll have another receiver run deep past the safety. This forces the Pittsburgh safety to make a decision, and almost always you're going to want to make the decision to stay deep because, you can't get beat deep there. And so watch how Snead runs this route almost as if he sort of starts off going to the outside, and it looks like he's about to start running over the middle and running deep, which means that the safety would have to stay back with Snead. So much so, in fact, look at 22 right there for Pittsburgh. He has his arm up. He's about to shout to the safety, hey, watch Snead. You get him because he's going deep. But Snead isn't. It's just a really good piece of route running, of just not just running the route well, but understanding the situation and understanding what the opposing team might think is happening and using that against them. And watch, once he cuts, that's just wide open, and the ball didn't get there right away, but, he was just so open, it didn't matter. Snead was still able to make the grab. That's not Snead being stronger than anyone. That's not Snead being faster than anyone. That's just Snead understanding the situation. That's all. This play is another one which is kind of a similar situation. If you remember this play, this was in that crazy Monday Night Football game with the Ravens and the Browns. Right now, this is when Baltimore is down a point with 6 minutes left. This is a 3rd down and 10, and given the way both defenses are playing, if you're already down, you don't want to give the opposing team the ball back, that's for sure. It's a cover 3 zone, and you see Snead's route. It's going to be in that gap in coverage right there at the top of the screen, and it could certainly work. But one way it could fail, obviously, is that if the cornerback who's in that top right-hand corner of the screen cuts in and takes it away, well, now Snead will no longer be open. And so once this play starts, watch what Snead does. Snead is not risking that by, notice how he kind of fakes as though he's running sort of an out route of sorts. Typically, when you run this, it's either an out route or maybe you're actually going to try and run a go route. You could come back over the middle, or you could stop, but really him just stopping is probably the last thing on that Cleveland defender's mind right now, which is, again, why it's smart to do this. Just make it a little bit easier and give Tracy McSorley just a little bit more time. That's all. Just give him a little bit more time to make this throw. Help your quarterback out. He's totally capable of doing that. Watch him then finally stop, and despite a high throw, still is able to hold on. Just a really clutch play, too. Not just a good route, but in that situation, to be able to come through and make a really big play, it's nice to know that you have a receiver who on third downs can make a grab, on a fourth down can make a grab. In fact, he had one of the all-time forgotten fourth down conversions that happened in recent memory. It was this play. Remember this one? A lot of people don't, honestly, because they remember what happened just about, a minute later in the game. Not even. Right now, it's only 45 seconds left in the game. Fourth down and 10. The New Orleans Saints are down 2 points. This is the Minneapolis Miracle game. But first, the Saints had to complete the comeback to take the lead in the first place. And fourth down and 10, just outside of field goal range, it kind of feels like this is the game. If they get it, they'll probably win. If they don't get it, they'll definitely lose. It's man coverage, and you see Snead's route on the screen. It can be a little bit underneath this cover 2 man, so that's what they're hoping for right here. And watch the beginning. Watch how Snead sort of fakes as though he's running out, but then starts running deep. This sells it really sells a go route really well. When you kind of fake as though you're running a move and then don't actually run the move, it really makes you think, okay, that was his move. I get it. I understand that's what he's doing, but that was not his move. So really, I think the guts to pull off something like that in this kind of situation is crazy. And, it says something also that they ran this play through Snead. Yes, they have Michael Thomas, but they're running this play through Snead right here. And watch Snead get open, and he is going to make the grab to get past the first down. Listen, that was a few years ago. That was a few injuries ago. It's not totally fair to say that he's the same guy entirely, but he's only 28. He is still pretty, he's in his prime. And I just think that goes to show, okay, he's someone who can make a big play. And finally, another thing that definitely jumped out at me when I was watching tape preparing for this video that I wanted to bring up is a play like this where it's going to be zone coverage and he's just running a little, hot route to get into gap and coverage, make the grab, run and pick up yards. Very simple. But watch how once this play starts, I like how, he's easily in that gap and coverage, but notice how he kind of already is starting to run before he even has the ball, which I know some people are saying, oh, never do that. Just make the grab and then go forward. But I kind of like this. I kind of think this is pretty good, especially because he's not taking his eyes off of the ball. He's still going to make the grab regardless. He's just putting his feet in a way where he can then continue to run and pick up more yards. It's just, him understanding the situation, like I said, and knowing that there's a lot more yards available if you can just get past this sort of linebacker area and get up to the second level. And he does make this catch and is able to pick up yards after the catch. And come on, we all know how much Jon Gruden loves yards after the catch. So the fact that he's bringing that to the table, honestly, it's just a great fit, right? He's someone who just has hands you can trust. They have a lot of good receivers, but it's nice to just have like okay, third down and 2, we can throw it to Snead. We know he'll make the grab if it's anywhere in his area. He's not a super big down-the-field threat, really. He only averages 12.3 yards per reception, which is definitely on the low side over the course of his career, and that's, partially skewed with Baltimore, but not entirely. It wasn't that much higher with New Orleans, so he's definitely not a great down-the-field threat, but that's not what they're signing him for. They have down-the-field guys. They really want, I think, just a possession receiver, and that's what they're getting. And honestly, let's just be honest for a second that quite frankly, when Jon Gruden signs a receiver, I trust he knows what he's doing. There's other things that I don't totally just sign off on completely when it comes to Gruden. Wide receivers, he knows what he's doing. He's got the offense down, especially wide receivers. And that just, every now and then, you just got to say like, okay, I'm going to assume that you're right. But also, I think this makes sense anyways. So it's a double win for me. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.